Hey, Shalom, Brakatu Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Chahudash, double honors to head apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you brothers on the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continually fighting the good fight of faith, Lord willing. We have found that number to be delivered, and likewise for you sisters who truly trust and believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. May ye be found worthy as well. All right. So I believe I'm going to entitle this Great Millstone in the Importance of Order. All right. Now, this lesson is inspired by what has just transpired with Elder Manat Zagba and the young man that came up after he was instructed not to do so. Elder Yashawamba, Elder Ariala then did a land back on it. And, I wasn't going to deal with it, but I was like, you know what? The brother said enough, which was edifying on every level. But the Spirit jumped on me as well to kind of go down this route, and the importance of order within Great Millstone. Okay? So I'm going to start with this scripture first. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, let all things be done decently and in order. All right? And we here at Great Millstone, order is essential. All right? Having order is essential. And this is one of the things a lot of you younger brothers who are coming up lack. You lack the ability to discern certain things. All right? And seeing that you lack that ability, when things like this come up, now everybody's getting their feelings and getting all emotional. All right? But again, it's all about order. Being in order. All right? We here at Great Millstone, we're not free to move about the cabin and just come and go as we will. All right? Even when a brother wants to go to a different brother state or visit different brothers, there's certain protocols and certain channels that got to be followed and ran through before you just decide to, go somewhere. All right? And the brother Elder Manat Zagba, we're straightforward. We're straightforward with it, not at this time. And the man should have taken heed to that. Okay? And you people wonder why we here at Great Millstone just get on people. You wonder why. All right? Now again, through the man's own admission, he's been around the truth for 6 years, right? And for 6 years, there's a level of spiritual maturity that one would have to have acquired through the years, being around that long. Though it's not a very long time, but it's long enough to know, how you should be able to move in this thing. Now granted, a lot of you younger camps, your leaders, may have come up, but not come up in a fashion where they were able to experience, certain movement within the body of Great Millstone. All right. And for example, if a brother wants to make a move to see different brothers, there's a lot that goes into it. All right. It's just not, hey, I'm going to pick up and pack up and head on, hit the road. No, absolutely not. And this is why the scripture's saying we stand by it. Let all things be done decently and in order. You got to go through the proper channels. And then sometimes those orders might come back to you where, not at this time. All right. And being spiritual, having some level of spiritual maturity, you say to yourself, all right, the Lord don't want it to happen at this point. And then you got this fool who's trying to do a rebuke video. And he, of all people, who was a member of Great Millstone, should know. He, of all people, should know. All right? So let me go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. And again, it says, be ye followers of me, even as I am of Yahweh Shai. For I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. All right? These are things that you acquire by keeping your mouth shut, learning, understanding, digesting, watching brothers, listening to brothers, hearing different things. All right? It says, but I will have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahweh Shai is Yahweh. All right? So again, order. There's order in everything that we do in this truth. You just don't decide you're going to just take it upon yourself to venture off somewhere, especially in the times that we're living in. All right? Let's continue on. This is John chapter 20. And I'm gonna start at 3. And it says, Peter therefore went forth and that other disciple and came to the sepulchre. So they ran both together, and the other disciple did outrun Peter and came first to the sepulchre. And he, stooping down and looking in, saw the linen clothes lying, yet went he not in. All right. Now, why didn't he go in? Because clearly, as we read down, he was a younger of the two. All right. Again, order. There's even order, and there's even an order to how you salute certain brothers. Okay? And a lot of you younger guys don't know that. A lot of you younger men don't know that. There's an order to how you salute brothers. This ain't no run-of-the-mill thing, man. This is real. This is what we do, and what the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has instilled in us is real. And a lot of you individuals who operate on a carnal level, you just can't seem to accept the fact that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has instilled, his work in these men whom you despise now. All right, so let's keep reading. I'm gonna get right to the point. It says, verse 6, then cometh Simon Peter following him, and went into the sepulchre, and seeing the linen clothes lie. And it says, and the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself. Point taken here. Then went also that other disciple, which came first to the sepulchre, and he saw and believed. All right. So I brought this scripture out because it just goes to show you that the order is essential. That young man outran Peter. He was probably a much younger man, full of blazing speed. He speed like what's your man from Jamaica, Usain Bolt. Yeah, Usain Bolt speed got down there. Then when Peter finally got there, Peter went in. All right. Then after the coast was clear, then the young man went in. But again, that's order. All right. So take heed to what's being spoken, man. We here at Greatmillstone are students of order. And for a man to sit there and say he gonna do a rebuke video. When you go into somebody's house and they tell you to take off your damn shoes, you gonna get mad at the person who tells you to take off their shoes? No, it's his house. He wants things done a certain way. You work on a goddamn construction site, you in the union, you look on the wall and you don't see your name on the list to work at a certain site, and you show up to the site anyway. What do you think that foreman's gonna do? He's gonna send you home because the list didn't have your name on it. So you was already told, or you was already informed that you wouldn't be working at that site, and you still show up. You don't get mad at the foreman? But again, these are some of the things that some of you younger men, you lack. You lack understanding. Especially being around for 6 years. Being around for 6 years, man, there's a lot of maturity that you can acquire just by watching. Right? And if you ain't watching, just by clear, basic comprehension. Yeah, brother, did you see the text I sent you? Yeah, I saw it. You couldn't comprehend that? You couldn't understand that? You're gonna take a 4-hour ride, roughly a 4-hour ride, and in your travel, you didn't stop to say to yourself, damn, let me reach back out to the brother. Let me do something. Which there was no need to do anything because it was crystal clear the instructions that was given. Right? The instructions were crystal clear, man. But again, let all things be done decently and in order. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And with all that getting, get understanding. Right? You can't be involved in this thing without having understanding. And that's understanding it in just on every level of you being a man. Yay or nay. Left or right. Okay? And this is just an admonishment to all you people out there. Now, the Lord made this go down like this because, again, a lot of you young brothers out there who may be sincere, but now you're getting an understanding of how we here at Greatmillstone, from the head apostles on down, how things are done, man. You ain't just gonna just get to one of the apostles or bishops' homes and just go around looking out windows and opening closet doors and peeking in shit. Absolutely not. All right? There's an order to everything that we do. And within that order, there's understanding. As a man of the Lord, you're going to understand, and your feelings ain't going to be hurt. And your opinions are going to be all in a bunch, whining and complaining. Well, he's doing this, and why did he say that to the brother? But no, absolutely not. Because the Lord said what? Show yourselves men. We are men of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. A lot of these camp leaders today, they're young themselves, and they haven't been truly, submerged with understanding, because that whole thing that went down shouldn't have went down. Now, I don't know what that brother's rank is in his camp. I don't know what his rank is, but he should have informed the head brother, and the head brother should have made a decision right there on the spot. Nah, man, hold off on that. Hold off on that right now. And these are some of the things that has to be done within camps. With some of you lead, you got to be able to say, hey, nah, you got to hold off on that. You just don't pop up or just take a ride somewhere. And then when you're driving 4 hours back home, all confused and trying to figure out why you were sent home. Well, if you had followed instructions in the first place, But it was needs be that this come down like this so the Lord can start to show. We here at Great Millstone, we ain't fly by night, man. This ain't no just, come as you are, move around as you want, and do as you will. It don't work like that over here. Okay? It does not work like that over here. Let's continue on. This is Revelation 22. I'm going to jump down to 9. And I'm going to bring this scripture out because the brother was, he was so amazed. And to me, it seemed that he was in awe that he was going to go meet the brothers. He wanted to be around the brothers. He just wanted to watch them. You been out there, you out there for 6 years, bro. You were a servant. You were a servant just like everybody else. We all fighting for the same penny. Let me get Revelation 22, and I'm gonna start at 9. Now let me start at 8. It says, "And I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which showed me these things. Then said he unto me, See thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren of the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai." All right. So again, you're coming in the sense of as if you just found out about the truth, and you're eager to be around the men of the Lord. But that's not the case for a man who's been around for 6 years. Again, a level of spiritual maturity has to be within inside of you. If I didn't know any brother, I would have thought, yeah, the brother he knew. He's new and doesn't understand how we move and how brothers move in the truth, how brothers operate in the truth, because you have that. You have people who are just waking up, eager to just get out to a camp. But having been grounded for 6 years, I'll say it this way, having been somewhat grounded for 6 years, you carry yourself as if you have no understanding whatsoever. But let this be a lesson of understanding to everybody outside of Great Millstone. All right? For you people who are just waking up, brothers who are just waking up, who are just coming in, coming around. All right? You don't have to always, run down to your nearest camp. There's plenty of videos. There's plenty of spiritual, feeding that can go around to sustain you while you grow in this thing. All right. And again, we here at Great Millstone, we're on spiritual high alert. All right. We're watching everything. All hands are on deck, and it's safe to say the brotherhood comes first, then everybody else. All right. So if you get offended, then you're offended. But if the Lord has instilled any type of wisdom and knowledge and understanding in you, you're going to understand. And by understanding, you will also take the same stance through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. So that's about it. I'm gonna end it right there. I don't want to go too deep on this. The other elder brothers have already went into it, heavily, beautifully. And Lord willing, you got a little bit out of it. I'm gonna say shalom to the next.